All right. What's up, y'all? Good evening. Welcome to Poetry Open Mic ASHEViLLE. ASHEVILLE's longest running and best open mic. Thanks to your support. My name's Caleb Bysert. It's great to be your host tonight. Thanks for joining us for this. We've been doing this each and every Wednesday night here in Asheville, North Carolina for almost 10 years now. And we're keeping it going in the virtual realms in light of the pandemic causing us to not be able to safely do open mic together in person. But despite all that, we're keeping it going for you, and I'm super happy to be here. This is my medicine, and it's so good to be able to get together with y'all and share each and every Wednesday night. We welcome all people, all forms of artistic self-expression here at the open mic, and yeah, it's all about the art for us. So I'm gonna get down to that right away, and then I'll tell you what we got going on for you tonight. I'm gonna kick things off with some poems. This first one's a really old one called Raindrops Over Egypt. Make art with all your might and all your soul. Lift voices to the heavens, sing songs, pen poems, paint pictures, live the world around you, acknowledge beauty in you. Play xylophones, make whiskers for pigeons and wings for cats, build papier-mâché clouds and ride them to Egypt. Make art with all your might. And raindrops full of radios that quickly melt into symphonies of golden birds, spectacularly scattering black against the clouds like a room full of clocks ticking slightly off from one another. Make art with all your soul. Drum the drum, dance the dance, paint the sky with aphrodisiac colors and dance on the dream winds of distant eternity. Surf through that radio dial of cosmic existence, little tiny lines on white pages, the broad brush strokes of a troubled humanity, the common bread shared at our tables. Two old women sit in a pear tree, weeping into the water of time, forming ice crystals as it pours. Make art with all your might. And 2009, that was written before we even started the open mic. We started this open mic in 2010. It's good to keep it going for y'all. Cool. I think we have Stefen Micko in the house tonight as our feature poet. And we'll get him on for you here in just a little bit. I'm going to do a couple more poems, give folks a chance to tune in and get this thing warmed up. But thanks so much for joining us tonight. This next poem I'm going to do is by Langston Hughes. Bring me all your dreams, you dreamers. Bring me all your heart melodies, that I may wrap them in a blue cloud cloth, away from the too rough fingers of the world. And I'm going to do another cover poem for y'all. This is by the old Sufi mystic Jalaluddin Rumi of the Barks translation, where everything is music. Don't worry about saving these songs. And if one of our instruments breaks, it doesn't matter. We have fallen into the place where everything is music. The strumming and the flute notes rise into the atmosphere, and even if the world's harp should burn up, there will still be hidden instruments playing. So the candle flickers and goes out. We have a piece of flint and a spark. This singing art is sea foam. The graceful movements come from a pearl somewhere on the ocean floor. Poems reach up like spindrift and the edge of driftwood along the beach, wanting. They derive from a slow and powerful root that we can't see. Stop the words now. Open the window in the center of your chest and let the spirits fly in and out. For sponsoring this open mic and being our home here in Asheville for so many years. course, one of the silver linings in having to do this virtual open mic is that people can now join in and perform from wherever they are, anywhere in the world. And so we're happy to welcome you all tonight. Cool. Let's see. I'm gonna do one more poem, and then I'll see if we got Stefen working. If not, we got some other performers lined up for you right now. So we'll go to Noreen in that case. But I'll do one more poem for y'all. Thanks for being here tonight. Cheers, y'all. All right. Hope y'all are continuing to stay safe out there and fight the good fight. We got a lot of work still to do, y'all. But y'all stay strong. Do it. Black Lives Matter. This poem's called Beat Poetry. In circles, before sun temples, drums intone out of their emptiness. To spur profound longing, blue-green dreams steeped in foliage, sound fog deep in forest answers, keeping time to the beat before time. That amoeboid heartbeat carried into kaleidoscoping light windows of pixelated waves laced into neuron circuitry, baffled and fueled by mysteries, to worm-eaten genes hung on crystalline skeletons, bright yellow atomic rain clouds of city buses passing in the night frame of lonely corners of sky, great columns and moonlit palaces, sound permeating every cell in this abode, light beams drift like tractors across ripened fields saturated in delicate hues of tropical skin and cactus blooms, fractal ferns sprouting from dust, new planets overhead beneath us, ascending into fragrant midnight molecular Abyssinian vases, digital Egyptian sarcophagi, ancient Incan stone motherboard logic spinning runic songbirds escalating far red colored distant sweetheart Orions and dilated open eyes and heads of reptilian coils, an electric spiral pulsating cloud hands reaching on the ethers, wafting in the temple of Aphrodite, stoned upon the rocks of time, in love with every rhythm, in every cell, in everything, forever, without ever, echoed in ocean waves and thunder, painted across clear nights in the perennial spring, around campfires and subwoofers, continuing the majestic beat, one, 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 one. Thank you very much, y'all. And thanks for tuning in to Poetry Open Mic Asheville, Asheville's longest running and voted best open mic. Thanks to your support, and thank you for your continued support in these times. You can catch us here live on in the Facebook group on Open Mic Poetry Open Mic Asheville Facebook group, and on the Sovereign Kava YouTube page each and every Wednesday night. Y'all be sure to support Sovereign Kava. They are open for to-go orders only. Masks are required, or they do deliver now through Kickback Asheville. So y'all continue to stay safe and continue to support Sovereign Kava. We really appreciate it, and we hope to be doing more events there again before too long, whenever it's safe again. Anyway, okay, I think we're having a little bit of technical difficulties with our featured poet tonight, and that's okay. We'll get to him here in just a little bit. I think we're going to go ahead and go to Noreen, though, who's here and waiting and is really freaking awesome, and I can't wait to hear what she's got tonight. So, in your living rooms or your cars or wherever you happen to be right now, scream and shout and make a whole bunch of noise for Noreen Sullivan. Y'all give it up. All right.
Oops.
Hey, Noreen, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am good as can be, all considering, and it's great to see you. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Absolutely. You got some poems for us tonight?
I do.
Awesome. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to you. And
Okay.
yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, y'all give it up for Noreen.
Your skin is not the problem. Your anger is not the problem. The problem is that we are pro-blame. We blame the economics, we blame the administration, we blame the police, but it is justification for discrimination. The systematic propagation of a lie that I can delete and unfollow things that are inconvenient for me, the triggering bigots and the haters. But in that, we are co-creators. I can say, not me, and be free and not take responsibility. I'm sorry, but it is not enough. The root is in sorrow. My parents talked of social justice and a better tomorrow. Yet we turned into the wrong neighborhood and saw dark-skinned people going about their business. It was an inherent threat to us. Lock the doors, roll up the windows, as if blackness could seep into the Vista Cruiser. And if someone would open the door and pull us into the light like a root of a weed in the garden. Okay. Warnings. Do not touch yourself, your face, your hair. Do not shake hands or hug. Do not kiss a stranger. With the urgency of insurgency, I want to. It is my way. If you tell me not to, I cannot resist. I want to kiss you and you and you and all with deep tongue. And I know it's not a good idea. And we turn to bleach and alcohol solutions for absolution. We yearn to clean the unclean and be saved. Well, this pandemic rages and hatred is rolled out in stages. And there is more here than a virus that is contagious. It is outrageous that children are still in cages. Our caring has been quarantined. I want to live, and I understand. Behind my mask, I hold you in protection, and I pray that the election will lead us to redemption. I will not kiss a stranger. Yet in the end, our distance is the danger. Okay. I don't know. Should I do something? Well, I'll do pandemic excuses and then maybe one other thing. Pandemic excuses. Sorry, I will not be dancing with you today. Something has come up. The spinach has rotted in the crisper, and I am surrounded by piles of laundry, both dirty and clean, and paper. Avid note-taking and sparks of genius, covered by greasy dullness. Butter I melted in the microwave, boiled and popped when the popcorn did not. Sorry, I missed your FaceTime. I was on another Zoom. In fact, I was in my room, imagining myself melting into my own walls. Where do I begin and the comforter end? Disquieted, discomforted, I reach out for my pillow and turn over face down, not caring about self-care. Sorry, I have no words, no wisdom, nothing to give you. I am empty-handed and dry. At the beginning of this shit, I thought I could win at isolation and creation. I would virtually travel city to city, every museum, exotic destination, and train ride in virtual reality. but my realities are train wreck. Necessity is the mother of invention, and it was my intention to create a masterpiece. Instead, I am in pieces. Sorry, I will not be dancing with you today. And for my fans, and Caleb, and I'm gonna do one of the erotic ones. I am more. What's that? Can you call me baby? You can call me cunt, but I know who I am. I am goddess, maiden, crone, and whore. I am more than a fur teacup. I am more than a pink taco. I am more than Yanni Punani. I am a tsunami. I am more. You cannot reach this sweet peach. Be polite. Call me a lady. Try to persuade me or degrade me. It doesn't matter. I'm free. You hide, despise, and disguise because you're shy. You call a vagina a woohoo, a hoo-hoo, a cuckoo, a foo-hoo. You whisper down there. Where? In my penis fly trap, in my fuck wallet, in my pie corner. This pussy's a tiger. This snatch will snatch you up and leave you wanting more. This tunnel of love is a thrill ride. Yes, I am the superhero Wolverine. Say what you want, but I know who I am. I am woman. I am mother. And that makes you a motherfucker. Thanks, everybody, and good night.
All right. All right. All right. Hey, thank you, Noreen. That was badass. Yeah. Hell yeah. That's what's up.
All right.
You know we love that one. I also love the first one too.
The first one's a new one, and
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I can pick up on that. It's a good point too. I try not to block people unless I like really have to, because I mean it's we still got to deal with those people in real life a lot of the time.
Right, and it's it's all and it's all about you denying what's really going on, and we all have to take responsibility, and to be an ally, you have to own it.
Absolutely. Yeah, well said.
That's what I'm all about. So, thanks, Caleb. Nice to see you, and we'll see you next week.
Absolutely. Sounds good. Thanks. Y'all give it up one more time for Noreen.
All right. Good night.
All right. Thanks for joining us here each and every Wednesday night for Poetry Open Mic Asheville. Coming to you live from my living room in Asheville. Keeping it going in the times of the pandemic and everything. So thanks for joining us, and thanks for sharing your art, and thanks for being here. We're gonna keep it rolling tonight because we got a bunch of awesome performers lined up. Let's see. Hold on. Yes. More comments for Noreen. Very good. Cool. Our next performer, we have my brother from another mother, Mr. Caleb Calhoun, in the house with us tonight. It's good to see him. Let's see if we can bring Caleb on here. You ready, man? I think so. Boom. Caleb.
Hey, what's up, Caleb?
Hey, what's up?
How you doing tonight?
Oh man, I'm all right. As well as can be. How are you doing?
Man, I'm feeling as good as I felt in a few weeks. I saw you down there a bunch, and things got out of hand a couple times, and
yeah, shit got really out of hand here in Asheville.
Yeah, it's just nice not to be getting tear gassed every night. So
yeah, it's nice not to have chemical weapons used on you.
Yeah,
or banned in warfare. That's pretty wild.
Kind of didn't think that was something I would have to talk about in America growing up, but here we are.
Yep, here we are, and I know you've been really, really busy out there. You've been doing some reporting and some writing on the protests and kind of everything that's going on with the newly relaunched Get on the Bus series.
Yeah, Get on the Bus AVL. It's now a website it's an author-driven website. We've got it's really cool because next up after me, it looks like we got Kevin Evans and Justin Blackburn hanging around. They're both writing for Get on the Bus. And Noreen, who just went before me, we're recruiting. Pretty cool little like spot here. But getonthebusavl.com. And we got a bunch of we got a piece from each of us, as well as Joanna Haggerty and Livy Gamble.
Awesome.
Liv Gamble on there.
Yeah, cool.
And just check it out if you want to.
Absolutely cool. And I'll say that also Caleb and Justin and Kevin also host the ASHEViLLE Poetry Slam,
which we're also recruiting Noreen for.
Oh, good. Very good. Well, yep. Love Noreen. Love what y'all do. And I'm going to turn it over to you so we can hear some of your awesome work.
Perfect.
So without further ado, y'all make a whole bunch of noise for Caleb Calhoun. Give it up.
So the first thing I want to say is thank you so much, Caleb Beiser. I really believe that the poetry slam that we do in town and so many other projects of mine exist because of the groundwork that Caleb Beiser has laid in this town, and I'm really grateful for that. I also want to say is, if you don't like Randy Travis, then fuck you. We are going to do a couple different things here, but we're going to start here with a poem that is about Asheville that doesn't really it still applies. So it's called The Soul of the City. It's a crooked path we travel through, crooked time and crooked space, and none of us walks it evenly. The best of us aware only of its presence, only of its nebulous existence in this, our perverted universe. Our feet we trust will find their own way, passing, as it often were, broader and straighter paths to the right and to the left. But the soul of the city does not long for freshly paven, shining, shimmering avenues lined with garbage receptacles and carriage lamps and oak trees with metal chastities, keeping them safe and small. No, we stumble forward through the crooked darkness, rolling our ankles on the frozen, rutted ground, bowed under the weight of our illnesses, each of us lacking, all of us afraid, shedding our demons with our inhibitions, denying the labels we first wore when we took to this crooked path. Weary but determined, we press on. We take another job we don't love. We take another animal to care for. We take another roommate to help pay the bills. Our hopes and dreams, sometimes as close as the night and sometimes as distant as the moon. Asheville, how much longer can you be a home to the road torn and emotionally scarred, the schizophrenic walking the block, the bipolar poet pecking away at 4 a.m., the musician writing ballads for the life she left behind? Asheville. How much longer can your crooked creativity thrive in this crooked darkness? And when your paths are made straight and your streets lined with carriage lamps, what of the crooked persons upon whom you are built. The artists and storytellers, the singers and poets, the ones who understand beauty, but never 9 to 5. ASHEViLLE. What will you do with your soul? Because even now I can feel the soft machine approaching. All right, this next one's pretty fucking new. And it's a little edgy. I don't have a lot of breakup poems, honestly. I usually stay friends with my exes. This is a breakup poem, and it's real. And yeah, here we go. Do you really enjoy leaving? I mean, when the dust settles and the voices die down, are you happy? I'm sorry. Maybe I'm taking liberties here. Maybe I should have taken liberties long ago. Maybe you're a delicate flower. Maybe you're a fucking Venus flytrap. Right now, I don't know. You move like a thunderstorm on a radar map. The energy of your sadness, always threatening. I check the weather compulsively, hoping to find myself one step ahead, but never confident. Do you really enjoy leaving? Look, I only ask because it seems like it takes up an inordinate amount of your time. I'm sorry, I know you don't see it that way, but I don't know how else to see it. Maybe you have the worst luck ever. Maybe you cut and run. I'm not fit to make that judgment. You move like a squirrel in the street, fully committed until you aren't. Indecisive until, without counsel, you decide I could never find myself one step ahead of you. Always anxious. Do you really enjoy leaving? Because you told me you'd stay and, well, I didn't go anywhere. I'm sorry. It's true. I took a deep dive into my own head, and sometimes that can be a scary place. Maybe you wanted patience and gave me the car horn in the driveway. That's how it felt. You move like a bull in the street, chasing what you want without circumspection, guided by voices I will never hear. It's clear. You were always one step ahead of me, even walking away. Do you really enjoy leaving? Because I thought you meant when it all dies down, I'll meet you on the edge of town. Do you really enjoy leaving? Or do you just not know how to stay? I got 5 minutes left here, 4 minutes left here. I really want to read you all a little bit of this piece that I wrote this week. It's called The Cost. And I hope that you will navigate your way over to www.getonthebusavl.com and give it a look. But it's really on my mind. So I'm probably just going to read the first paragraph maybe. And then that'll probably be it for me tonight. Thank y'all so much. Those of you that are tuning in, I don't have the Facebook up. My computer is old and really slow. I also can't use headphones, so I can't hear if people are commenting. But I'm so grateful for Caleb and for this open mic. This is from a story called The Cost, once again on getonthebusavl.com. And it begins with a quote. by London, a black activist from this town. She says, "Ally is the new woke." Trying to get a handle on the last few days is like trying to eat an elephant. Except that the elephant is on acid and there are cops in riot gear tossing tear gas containers at you like it's the only thing in life that gets their rocks off. And there are black leaders being sometimes drowned out by white protesters. And there are secret agents and white nationalists and angry teenagers and an entire movement trying to call out the systemic racism of the police force. And guys on the riot line that looked like their father taught them how to shave yesterday. So tensions mounting. I go and try to find someone in an APD uniform who will speak to me. After striking out a half a dozen times, the only person with a voice turns out to be an impossibly young officer named Trevor. He looks like he's geeking out. His pupils are the size of dinner plates, and he's holding his riot shield like he's clearly never held one before. His dad was a plumber, a blue-collar worker, and he just wanted to help people. But no, he didn't ever expect to be part of tear gassing the citizens he swore to protect. But here he is. And here we are. It's 11:37 p.m. on Sunday, May 31st. And with a little luck and a whole lot of work, this town may never be the same again. Thank y'all so much. That's what I have for you tonight. Really appreciate the time, Caleb. Really appreciate everybody who's a part of this. But Caleb and also Aaron Price, if you're floating around, just two people that have given so much to this community, and I stand on the work that they've done, and I appreciate that. There it is.
Yes, indeed, Caleb. Thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate the respect, and many thanks for the words, real words there from Caleb Calhoun. And yes, indeed, we got that link right here for so y'all go check that out. You can hear the rest of that piece that Caleb wrote, and there's also pieces on there by
Kevin Evans coming up next.
Blackburn. Yeah.
Justin
totally.
got a piece up there.
Awesome. Yes, very good. Hey, well, thanks for stopping by, man. It's good to see you. Stay safe out there. Thanks for doing the work you do and for providing that perspective, because I think people need to hear about what's going on downtown. And I think it's been really cool, like the events you mentioned where we just got to listen to black voices from the community speak to us about what their experience is like. I think that was a particularly powerful moment in the protest for me. So
yeah, and we talk about that a lot in the piece. Also, really tried to pretty much every other chapter is a black voice, not myself. Really tried to use my voice where I could to call out issues in the white community, but really try to back off and not try to have too much of my own interjection on that. So,
well, I feel you, man, and thanks for providing that perspective. And please do come back and join us and read some more work. We're here every Wednesday night, as you know.
I'll be back. I'm about to switch off of here and head to the Facebook feed.
Awesome.
But thank you. I love you, man. Thank you.
Love you too, man. Thanks a lot. Y'all give it up one more time for Caleb Calhoun. All right. Cool. And thanks for being with us tonight here. We do this each and every Wednesday night. Poetry open mic Asheville. Thanks to your support. Sorry about that. And y'all keep checking us out. And we got some more awesome performers coming at you tonight. I think we got Kevin Evans up next, and then I think we got our feature poet working now. Stefen Micko is in the house with us, and so let's get him on after Kevin there. Y'all definitely want to stick around for that. Stefen's an awesome poet, and he's featured at the in-person open mic a few times before, and it's really good to have him back in the house with us tonight, or on the internet, wherever you are. Anyway, cool. Then after Stefen, we'll have Justin Blackburn, and we got Priestess Super Vixen Valerie in the house tonight too. So cool. Let's go to Kevin here. Y'all make a whole bunch of noise for Kevin Evans. Give it up. Kevin, hey, how's it going, man?
Hey, I'm doing all right, all things considered.
Awesome.
Yep.
I hear you, man. Well, cool. It's good to see you tonight. You got some poems, maybe some music for us?
Yeah, I'm gonna read some pre-written poems, and maybe I'll try a little double blues harp because I haven't done the vertical double blues harp in a while. And then I'm gonna read a piece by my mother related to some of these current events, and she emailed it to me and gave me permission to read it. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
I love your mother. Tell her I said hi.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I read your piece on Get on the Bus, and that was really awesome, man. Thanks for sharing that.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it's cool. It's cool to see. I know I'd heard some of those stories before, but it's cool to see those stories about where you come from and the music you grew up with and everything. Because I know that music's really important part of your poetry too. So
yes, and it's important to keep the names of your ancestors, whether it be your parents' parents, or even your parents or your great grandparents. If you can keep those names and memories alive in print or spoken, that's a very good thing, because that spirit never dies.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for that, and I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to you now.
All right.
So, y'all go ahead and make a whole bunch of noise for Kevin Evans.
Yes. All right. So I'm going to start off a little softer. This is a poem that was written April 29th of this year. It's called Soft War of Washed Polka Dots. Luck, the ladybug, polka dots soaked in honeysuckle buttercup sud tub, tracked by pollen into forest fire, knocked wood, chopped into bless your soul. The marsh, the wolves, even gentle with your sun and moon phase mimicking wings, hooves of wild boars even pour holy dust into your path. You crash into the science and math that magically tumbles out of deep, dark, chocolate-adorned skies as twilight waters softly ripple in ethereal snore. Luck, the ladybug, will you teach us the art of the kindest, most gentle of wars? I've done this piece before, and it was originally written November 29th, 2018, when I was upset about some political shit that was going down in Mississippi. But it's amazing to me how many times and how many periods since November 29th, 2018 when I woke up in the wee hours to write this, that it's become even more and more true. This poem is just more and more now as opposed to a reflection of the past. And that's disheartening to say the least. Certainly with some events going on now, but we will keep up the good fight and the spirit will never die. This is Dear Mississippi. There's not enough blood on your hands, yet not enough water in the giant river for the right hand to wash the left. Not enough bodies floating in the rivers. Still plenty of noose trees growing out of the middle of the road. Loose strings floating in the air. Broken guitars and banjos burning as crucifixes at the picnic. Trying to kill the soul, to extinguish the music. Squeeze and dry all such movements. Old sip, old miss. I've known you since I were a wee bit kid, rooted into black soil, my umbilical cord and placenta still connected to the ground, fertilizing and being fertilized while pissed on, then soiled with poison semen. Not enough lemons to squeeze and quench these thirsts. Still plenty of cotton curses, hellfire, and caged birds. Lightning strike me of my words, baptized, drowned, and submerged in sweat. Fresh and aged blood from the oldest graveyard vineyard. I am urged to hold my tongue and tame my temper, cause they'll kill you. Pride always celebrated. Pain no one wants to remember. They say it was so long ago. Yesterday, yesteryear. You should forget about it and let that go. Though the flag of the rebel in the thick air still flows right above our nose. But shut up about your people's struggle, because it was oh so long ago. You stay in line, boy. Show some respect for this land that your eldest folks cultivated. Broke, still miraculously not extinct or broken. The picnics, all just a message of subjugation. Family outings doused in smiles, laughter, and entertainment. And it was so long ago. People don't believe, think, and act like that anymore. Little monkey, go back, play a song, drink till the demons and the spirits kill you inside, swinging on that porch. Pop the cork, for to harvest all of the crops and gardens of your insides. Even the fumes, mists, the angels share, supposedly disappeared into the clouds so loaded. Blue moons and blue black bodies, soaked in whiskey, draped in a bed of vines. Kutsu cuts through the jawline, along with barbed wire in the dark valley of the mighty Mississippi gold mine. And still, the spirit will never die. The music will never die. Not perfect, but we're just trying to catch a feeling there. So this piece by Sharon Evans, my mother, It is untitled, I believe, at this time. So I'll just read it. And I like different people's perspectives. So the thing about the Confederate flag or other Civil War symbols and monuments is the people who display them are not deceiving me. They are keeping it real, and I appreciate that. Living in the deep South for Mississippi originally, for me, it is truly an honest lifestyle. People are creatures of their environment and experiences. I understand what the flag and monuments represent for me. I also understand what it represents for others. I do not give any of my personal power to the symbolism of the flag and monuments. That is one of the many reasons that they are used and erected. It is the ultimate power play. My story is, it is a form of oppression, a reminder for me to stay in my place. It can invoke a negative emotional experience, which can take away my personal power. But I have conditioned myself to not let the flag or monuments have any power over me. They do tell the history of this nation, albeit very subjectively at times. You may not understand or agree with my logic, but it's complicated and based on my experiences of life in America. Agendas are conflicting with the hearts of the people in America. Okay, if the monuments go away, that will bring a great deal of satisfaction for some. That battle will be won for some Americans and then create a continuous battle for others. It will not change the heart of those that want to keep the monuments, but perhaps it further hardens their heart. We will still, as Americans, not have won the war. We as Black people have won some battles in my lifetime, but not the war. Just as the Confederacy did not win the war, it indeed did win some battles. If either the Blacks or the Confederacy had won the war, the battles would not continue, and these are not new battles. Perhaps not even all that different. Blacks are fighting for equality, fairness. What is the opposing side fighting for? I'm told it is heritage, pride, and even honor. But that's not my story to tell. All that I'm saying is we need to win the war. And I'm convinced, right or wrong, to win the true war, we must win the heart of the people, each other's hearts. The rest of it will follow and fall into place if we could stop negating each other's story. What is your story? All right, that's from Sharon Evans. And I think I'll end it on that note. Definitely visit Get on the Bus, AVL.com, and check out some wonderful pieces by some wonderful people, some great journalism there. And the spirit is still alive and it's not going anywhere once again. Thank y'all. Have a good night. Be safe. Be loved.
Oh, there I am. Hey, awesome.
Hey.
Thank you, Kevin. Hey, appreciate you sharing that. That was a really interesting piece from your mom. You know, I mean, I appreciate that perspective. I'm all for tearing down monuments, but she makes a really important point that there's a lot greater work to be done than just tearing down monuments. You know,
Sure.
Whatever, tear down the monuments, but we yeah, there's a lot to be done for sure. So thanks for sharing that. Also, I love that Angel Share poem. I know I've heard that one before, but it's amazing how poems can really ring. Old poems can come back and ring truer than ever sometimes. So.
Yes.
Yeah, it's cool to have that stuff. Well, thanks for dropping by tonight, Kevin. Cheers.
Yeah, thank you, man.
And hope you can make it by again soon. So
Hell yeah.
Awesome. Y'all check out Kevin's piece on getonthebus.avl.com and give it up one more time for Kevin Evans.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for being here tonight and checking us out for Poetry Open Mic Asheville. Asheville's longest running and best open mic. Thanks to your support. Thanks for tuning in here on the Facebook group and on the Sovereign Kava YouTube page each and every Wednesday night for this fun little open mic. Cool. All right. I think we got our featured poet working now. And y'all definitely want to stick around for Stefen. He's an awesome poet. He's a slam champion. He does amazing things with words and spoken word performance. And he's featured here a few times over the years. He might have been our first feature, one of our first features for sure, back when we were in a little back room on Lexington. But we're keeping it going, and let's get him on here. So wherever you are, in your living rooms, your cars, or wherever you're tuning in from, scream and shout and make a whole bunch of noise for Stefen Micko. Stefen, what's up?
What's up, Caleb, man?
Hey, it's good to see you. It's been a while.
Good to see you again. I remember that little room in Lexington. On
Right?
Lexington Street. Yeah. That's what's
Yeah.
up, brother.
Yeah.
Hey, can
man.
I just say, oh boy, Kevin, I really enjoyed that. Like, he choked me up to the point where I was like, okay, let me get ready to do this feature. But like, what he was saying was, I don't know, it's very timely, and then like, he's including both sides. You know what I'm saying? He's understanding. And I don't know if I think one of the poems was his mother's poem, and some was one of his, but it blew me away.
Yeah, Kevin will do that, man. He's the man.
Cool.
Yeah, we love Kevin. Well, cool, man. So thanks for being here tonight. I
Thank you
heard
for having me.
you got some new poems for us?
I do. So I when COVID hit, I was kind of in a very interesting position where I lost my jobs, and then I'd also had to move, and so I was kind of homeless during the very beginning of it.
Oh,
And it was very difficult
Rough.
trying to negotiate that when you're not supposed to touch nobody or be in the same space
Yeah.
with nobody.
It's
So-
kind of hard to stay at home when you don't have a home, right?
Exactly. So this next group of poems I wrote, kind of talking about my experience, and the good news is I made it.
Good.
It worked out.
And
It worked
wait,
out.
are you still in Charlotte? Or...
Oh no, I'm in Missouri now.
Oh, okay. Wow,
Oh, yeah.
it has been a while, but I guess
Yeah,
things
it's been a minute.
have changed quickly.
Yeah,
But,
and they have. But just I'm glad you're doing this, because the art's important, and we got to keep the art available. And then if we can't be in proximity with each other, we still need to be able to communicate the art. So hats off to you for holding this down.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate that. It's my honor and pleasure, for sure. And speaking of the art, I'm gonna turn it over to you for the next 15 or 20 or so, and let these people hear your poems. So all the way from Missouri tonight, we got Stefen Micko. Y'all make a whole bunch of noise. Give it up.
All right. So first of all, this is cucumber water. The first poem is talks about me, kind of the journey I had to make, leaving and then coming back home. And it was one of those decisions where it was abrupt, but then you kind of had to do it, and then you had to kind of make your peace with it. And I was lucky enough to have some good people to kind of Joseph or shepherd me through it. And so it worked out. So this poem's called Gypsy. For 50 straight days, I've been stranger things. Life locked in the upside down. Hunted sized up, physically condemned, different caretakers, each one of them taking a piece, some of them not so lovingly. I now know what it feels like to be prey. I have traveled very far. 1,500 miles last count, cleared 6 states, and it's true what they say, there is no rest for the wicked. No home in your own hometown. I took my oldest son back to the birthplace of the fire, told him 6 foot 6 inch tall tales of a hard luck life lived in the suburb him and his other 5 siblings would have loved to have a chance to rot in. This outlaw life. It gets much easier as you get older. Not so many disputing voices clouding the narrative. And on this night, night 51, my heart swells with lost poets. A skinny bully dangling at the end of an extension cord. The only North Star to ever believe in me. A big man with a big heart who found my face resembled his encased in a concrete mirror. I survey this mania with 20/20 vision. Realize that in these streets, a home-cooked meal is a blessing. I was homeless during the pandemic. Imagine the irony. I eat in my car. I bathe my hands in stolen hand sanitizer. I avoid large crowds. I watched secondhand iPhone footage of my son's first birthday. My bandana makes me a gas station desperado. The order always the same, depending on what state you're in. Hennessy and Marlboro menthols. See, I recently took up smoking again. It helps with the oral fixation. Made out with an ancient arch of a lady who said my smile still reminded her of a broken crescent moon. I keep liquor on my lips. I badmouth the Carolinas openly, slip through TSA mile marker like a shoe bomb, gas pedal down. I'm in a stolen car. It's wearing a stolen license plate, and I'm pretty sure I'm not going to make it back. I want my own story. I'm tired of being everybody's drug, everybody's happy place. Mainline me immediately makes you feel better or gets you pregnant. Ask North Davison. It's due to the fact that I grew up where the wild things were simply willing to roam, where a misdemeanor is basically cops being called to a misunderstanding. I had a dream way back when I was young, and it was of how I died. Now, I don't remember much about it. I do remember I was alone. I'm listening to silent applause right now. Appreciate that. I think the main part of this crisis that hit me was when I left Charlotte and seeing everything closed. Gas stations were closed and strip malls were closed, and it felt very apocalyptic. And like it was 12 noon and you don't see anybody outside. And I'd never seen anything like that. And it let me know the gravity of the situation and kind of what everybody was going through. But for me, there was a bit of isolation that kind of went through it. All right, so this next poem. So I'm an actor by trade, and my writing usually comes with how I create a poem. The first part is like the outline, the second part's the meat, and then like the third part's the mustard. So sometimes the mustard takes on a character. So I got this idea. The first 2 lines kind of came to me, and I will give this to all of you. It's a writing prompt. The first 2 lines of it was, now, I'm not a fire starter, but gasoline runs in my family. And then you just go from there. So I've given it out, and the poems that have come back were awesome. So then I had to add a little more mustard. And so try to channel a little bit. Give me a second. All right, this poem's called Firestarter. I'm not a fire starter, but Gasoline does run in my family, clean, burning blue propane flames that produce misleading black clouds. The cost of doing business, I tend to suck up all the oxygen. And it's not on purpose. I'm more of a sympathetic mirror that lets you burn bright if you want to, go dark if you want to, spark if you want to. Let's face it. Everybody needs a friend. Especially when you're 6 feet deep past last chances. I will always extend the rowboat in my throat. Call it a lifesaver, a pink lightsaber. Oh, I've been there. Cut out, spun out, and delayed, overcooked, overlooked, broken promise, failed, and fingerprinted. I've never expected anything to go right, so I cast glass homes at brittle stones who tried to harm me, swarm me. I make torches out of toothpicks. I'm a so-called flight risk, and I understand how it feels to be oh so close to right. Time to ignite. Life is a fist fight, and I've been knocked out in the first round before. Had to rocky my way up off a bloody Warshak canvas. Jackson Pollock would have been proud of defeat. It's its own zen type of victory. But see me, I burn from the bone. Fire, indistinct and nondescript. This heart is an empty crypt, and I'm always wondering what this candle wax soul melts with anticipation. Electric gasoline lightning strikes used to revive your Frankenstein heart. This is a test. Meaner, meaner, meaner. Please initiate chemical burn profile. Please initiate chemical burn profile. Burn until there's nothing left. I left volcanic ash all over the crime scene. I'm forced fire, mean this fever is terminal, or it's a overheated wet dream true. I didn't start the fire. But I damn sure didn't put that motherfucker out either. All right. Getting to our last poem. I had a good friend of mine I know him 35 years, and I was talking to him like during this crisis, and then he was like, you know what? You can always come home. And he was right. And I spent a lot of time traveling. I was in the Army for a while. I lived in North Carolina for a while. I lived in Atlanta for a while. And when I left St. Louis, it was kind of like, I don't know, it's like, you know, you got to make that move. It's like, oh, I'm never coming back here again. I'm leaving my hometown. But sometimes, you know, I mean, I understand the sentiment, but it's always good to come home, and I'm happy to be home. And this next poem is called Homegrown. Outside, there is a skyline guarded by an ancient arch of a lady dressed in steel who still remembers my name. She's always arching over every time I cross her riverbed. I am home, and I barely recognize the place. What a difference 20 plus years makes. The breath it takes, the breeze in, disjointed, unarmed in a pandemic landscape. The decisions we make sometimes overrun our own riverbanks, and I'm not going out empty-handed. Every day feels like a Monday or Sunday or someday, and I'm just another hollowed out solar system searching for a shallow grave, one with a view of the old Busch Stadium. It's the only place my dad ever let his guard down. So come on, crooked letter I, pass me the dice. You tell Dred Scott I ain't going nowhere. I'm hilled deep in the delta of my birth, and I got one more electric go, one more neon smile, and a mass grave of pain buried beneath both lungs I love to talk about. I left my last curse in the Carolinas, realized I needed any more. 10 years of angry wandering wound up a few bullet holes short of complete collapse. This scroll contains the birthplace of all the bodies. Believe me, if this skin could talk, it would routinely decline interviews. There isn't much I haven't seen or tasted or grudged. But that skyline is full of hope, full of gravity, full of trust. A revised requiem for all my fellow zombies who simply would not die. Unwanted underdogs who watch the sky, waiting for it to fall. Someone has to tell the story. Why not me? At least, well, hell, I'd be fair. All right, thank y'all for coming out. I've never performed poetry like this. My man Justin Blackburn's coming up next. I can't wait to see him. I've known Justin. Let's see, about 6-7 years. A phenomenal writer, not just poet, just writer. And the way he infuses comedy with stuff. I love my Asheville fam. And Caleb, thank you for putting me on. And I'm gonna stick around because I haven't heard poetry since the shutdown, really. So let's go ahead and do it, man. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Stefen Micko, y'all. Thank you, Stefen. Hey.
It's weird, man. I never performed in my kitchen before. I'm usually standing up. It's weird.
Right. Yeah. No, I hear you. It's totally weird. It definitely took some getting used to, and we kind of spent the past few months figuring out how to host this open mic online.
Right.
And I tell you, some of the early ones we did were just wrought with technical errors. We had some bad experiences to begin with.
You gotta try. You gotta make it work. You gotta try.
But hey, we're doing it now, and it's great. We can bring you in from Missouri, and people in from all over. And it's really great to still be able to get together. And yeah, we do have Justin up next. He's awesome.
Yes.
And, yeah, definitely.
Yes.
So
I'm just gonna
yeah.
I'll see you now.
Hey, once things are safe again, man, we definitely hope to get you back down here to Asheville to hang out with the Asheville people and do some poetry here, man.
I appreciate it, Caleb, man. Thank you for having me out, bro.
Absolutely. Thank you, Stefen. Everyone give it up one more time for Stefen Micko. All right. Cool. Well, thanks for joining us tonight for Poetry Open Mic Asheville, coming to you live from my living room here in Asheville, North Carolina. We just heard from Stefen Micko, our featured poet for this week. It's great to have him by. Y'all check out Stefen and keep up with the awesome work he's doing. Cool. And as Stefen said, we got Justin Blackburn up next. So let's see if we can get Justin on here. Y'all jump up and down and scream and shout for Justin.
Hey,
Justin, how's it going?
Yo, that was amazing. Stefen is incredible,
Right?
Incredible poet. Amazing dude. Like,
yeah.
Every time I get to hear him is a blessing, man. That was so great.
Yeah, totally.
I really hope that we can have him back and soon. But that was amazing.
Yeah,
like, being
totally.
Being in the energy, being in the room with it. He's such a powerful performer.
It's good poetic medicine for sure.
Yeah, that was so great. Thank you.
Yeah,
that was great. I love how you're having features on here, man.
Yeah. I thought I'd take the opportunity since we can bring in folks from all over now. Usually like at the open mic I have features sometimes, but not. It's more like when somebody's coming through town or someone has a new book out or something. I try to work people in, but it's not every week. So it's been great having these featured poets join us and getting to hear from a lot of different folks than we normally get to hear from every week. though. It's awesome to still see the community that we had around this open mic still showing up for this. So
Got to, man.
thank you, Justin. I
Love
know you're
you.
there
Love
every
you.
week,
Love
man,
everything
and I
you've done.
appreciate you.
Love the Kava bar. Great to hear Kevin and Caleb and Noreen.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
And
it's awesome.
yeah, I know you got a piece out on Get on the Bus AVL also.
Oh yeah, definitely got a piece on to Get on the Bus. I think mine's coming out on Saturday.
Oh, okay, cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, y'all check that out. And
Loved Caleb's piece, loved Kevin's piece. It was there.
Oh, yeah.
It was great.
Awesome stuff. Really awesome work.
Yeah.
Appreciate what y'all are doing. And you got some poems, you got some jokes.
Yeah, I'm gonna read
What you got
one
for us?
that I don't know if I've ever read.
New shit.
It's called. It's old. I wrote it a long time ago.
Cool.
But yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna turn it over to you, man. Y'all make a whole bunch of noise for Justin Blackburn.
Yeah, what's up? Hope everybody's doing amazing tonight. Y'all are real blessed. Everybody tuning in for such incredible writing and performing and poetry tonight. As always, Caleb hosts the best open mic, and so I'm going to read a couple pieces, maybe two. This is called When the Mask Comes Off. The condition of tradition seduced my parents. I wear the mask of my mother, shame. I wear the mask of my father, violence. I wear the rotting mask of America. I learned history from racists, love from a vengeful God. Homophobic men taught me the importance of humiliating. I wear the mask of South Carolina, inequality. I wear the white mask of oppressor. America's trauma put us on trial. A doctor stared at a piece of paper and found me crazy, sick. I wear the mask of medication, mediocrity. I wear the mask of the suicide wing. I wear the fraudulent mask of disease. My pastor bullied me into heaven, then forced me to kneel in front of hell. I was too numb to feel the eternal burning. I wear the mask of preacher man, anxiety. I wear the mask of Christ's cross. I wear the mask of that fiery liar, panic attacks. I wear the infinite masks of God. My true self is locked in the costume shop of identity. I wear the mask of poet, a desire to be validated. I wear the mask of a broken heart, an everlasting soul. I wear the tasty mask of disappointment and the limited choices of masks at the American Mask Store. Who will I be when the mask comes off? That's not about like COVID or anything. It's just about like different shit. You grow up and people beat things into you, and you take that shit on, and it becomes like a mask that you wear. So that's not saying don't take your mask off. I realized that at the end there. That doesn't mean don't wear your mask out in public. Maybe don't wear your masks that were, don't continue to wear a mask. All right. I'm going to read, one more. Let me find one more to read. Give me 1 second. Um, I'll read a couple. This is called, I'll read some shorter ones. Usually I read long ones. I'll read a couple of short ones. This is called White People Listening to 60s Soul Music at a Bar. I wrote this in Greenville, South Carolina, probably about 10 years ago. Maybe 12. Should it be illegal? My answer doesn't matter. I'm not white enough to be a judge. Plus, they don't feel it. No one's dancing. A young man yells Jenga. Two white creepy chicks next to me bitch about their boyfriends throwing back beer at the bar, hitting on two other white creepy chicks. My favorite song comes on. I ask this white girl to dance. Are you offering me drugs? She responds. I nod at a white dude. He gets real uncomfortable. I tell him this song should be the national anthem. He disagrees firmly, says the national anthem is the national anthem and should be that way until the end of time. Sam and Dave sing, Hold On, I'm Coming. I wait. This is called Woke Bro Compassionately Communicating with His Feminist Partner. Hey, Brilliant. I want to tell you that Courtney killed Kurt, but I don't want to come across as a mansplaining, toxic, masculine jerk. I don't feel comfortable being in your car listening to Live Through This anymore. It has nothing to do with your driving. I just watched this doc, and I'm pretty sure Courtney killed him. I know men are shit, and you don't want to hear it, but I don't think murdering is right, especially the dude who smells like Teen Spirit. If gaslighting isn't cool, murdering shouldn't be either. I'm not trying to control you. You can listen to her. I wouldn't judge you if you listened to Justin Bieber. I am so looking forward to playing drums in your new band and moving to New York. P.S. I'm always down to listen to Bjork. I'm going to go with this last one. And this is called 13 Ways of Looking at a White, Uptight, Pretentious Professor Poetry Reading for Wallace Stevens. This is a Wallace Stevens. I don't know. I used to go to like poetry readings when I was younger. When I would go to like slam poetry readings, I'd be like, this is awesome. And I'd feel amazing. And then I'd go to like these professor-esque, boring, I guess in here I'm calling them white, uptight, pretentious professor poetry readings. And I just felt like they were always like really looked down on me and just kind of like real cynical and mean and just like thought they were like real much smarter than I was and all this kind of shit. So I wrote this poem once, and it's using the Wallace Stevens poem 13 Ways of Looking at a Blackbird. Here we go. 1. Among the 20 boring poets, the only thing moving was my eyes trying to keep from falling asleep. 2. I was of 3 minds, like this poet when he tries to sit down and write. 3. The poet's words whirling in an autumn toilet after I wipe my dirty asshole. 4. An unoriginal poet and an unoriginal person are one. An unoriginal poet and an unoriginal person and an unoriginal audience are one. 5. I do not know which to prefer, the horror of being buried alive or the horror of drowning or continuing to listen to this dude read his poetry. 6. Icicles fill the long window within his cold, dead heart. The shadow of the poet, more passionate than him, his shadow self, an indecipherable cause. 7. O thine men of MFA programs. O thin men of MFA programs. Was it you that created him? Do you see Professor Keating ripping out your pages, jumping on your desk? 8. I know his accent is from Mediocrity, USA, but I know I did something awful to cause myself here, and I will atone. 9. When the poet stopped reading, he never actually stopped, as his accomplishments will haunt me forever. 10. At the sight of poets reading in fluorescent light, even bawds of euphony would never fuck them. 11. He rode over Connecticut in his Ford Focus. Once the fear pierced him, still does, as his ego refuses him grace for what if he isn't as smart as he thinks. 12. His need for intellectual validation is moving. The poet must be emailing his college professor. 13. It was evening all afternoon. It was snowing. And when I am able to enjoy their poetry, then I will finally know I am enlightened. All right, that was a couple poems that, it's cool, intimate setup here. Just read a couple that are more reading poems. Hope you enjoyed them. Probably kind of makes me want to go back and edit them a little bit, make them a little better, a little sharper. But yeah, thank y'all very much. Much love and respect to all of y'all, and can't wait for the rest of the night and all the amazing poets that we have on the list here.
Yes, indeed. Hey, thank you, Justin. Man, I love that stuff. You're killing me, man.
Yeah.
It's excellent. Excellent
Thanks, man.
stuff. And I love that when I go out and read a poem and then I'm like, oh, I want to make this change, or I want to change this thing here and there. That's
me
a lot
too,
of the reason
man.
I go out to open mics, just to try stuff out.
Oh,
hear
yeah.
things when you read it out loud to people that you don't otherwise.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
really interesting how, like, when you're, I don't know, if you read it to yourself, it doesn't have at least with me, it doesn't have the same effect. Even I'm reading it to myself basically here.
Yeah,
but just
yeah.
knowing other people are listening, it has a different effect on me where I'll be like, oh, I could do something with that.
Yeah,
Where
there's
if I was just
something
reading it-
about that.
Yeah.
Changes everything, yeah.
It does. It's really cool. It's like mixing with other people's energy.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Well, I love that, man. Thank you for sharing that
thank
stuff.
you, man.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And y'all check out Justin's piece and Kevin's piece, Caleb's piece. All of them have work up on
Get on the bus.
Get on the bus. So y'all get on the bus and check it out. And Justin, man, thanks so much for being here tonight. I really appreciate it.
Hey, I'll be here
And,
next Wednesday. You have a great one. Thank you.
Awesome. I'll see you then, man. Take care,
Yeah,
Justin.
I'll go watch. Peace.
All right. And that was Justin Blackburn. You can find Justin Blackburn online also at justinblackburnwrites.com. He's got a bunch of books for sale. Support the poet. Thank you, Justin. Thanks again tonight to our featured poet, Stefen Micko, joining us from Missouri. We got a few more awesome performers coming at you next, so y'all stick around. And, of course, be sure to tune in here every Wednesday night for more Poetry Open Mic Asheville, Asheville's longest running and best open mic. Thanks to your support. Yes, indeed. I think we got Valerie, aka Priestess Super Vixen, in the house up next with us tonight. I definitely want to hear from her, so let's get her on here. All right. Hey, Valerie.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, good
How
to
you guys
see ya.
doing? Thank
I'm
you.
good. How are you doing?
I'm holding in there pretty well. Holding
hear
in pretty
ya.
well.
Good, good. I love your face paint, your makeup.
Thank
It's
you.
beautiful. Yeah.
I had a little photo shoot today,
Nice.
and yeah, this was hours of work, and I'm not gonna wash my face for as long as I can avoid it.
I hear you. Don't do it.
I'll still brush
Nice.
my teeth though. Anyway,
Yeah. Cool. Well,
all
you
right.
you got some poems or some stories or something for us tonight?
Yeah, it's gonna be, I guess, a poem or just a small. I guess I'll call it a poem.
All
I'm
right.
still learning.
Hey,
But
that's cool. Hey, we don't have to call it anything. I'm gonna just turn it over to you. And
all right. Thank you.
all right, y'all give it up for Valerie, aka Priestess Super Vixen.
I want to take this moment and say thank you, Asheville, for your alliance for the people, especially people of color, for your considerate hearts. I've had so many people find very small ways to be kind to me, and I'm sure many others. So thanks a lot for what you try to do and as much as you can do. It's been amazing. Um, again, all of this, I had a photo shoot to do for a project I got coming up. So stay tuned. I'll be letting you know about those things. And right now, I'm just gonna do a small poem or talk, and I'm gonna call it reparations. Okay. Oh, my dear non-melanated friends and family, when I speak of reparations, it doesn't mean that I have to take one of your many cars out of your driveway. It doesn't mean that I have any interest in taking your summer cottage away from you. Yeah, I still hear the echoes of the past when we talk about that 40 acres and a mule. Curious as to what it would look like today if I were to receive that. You see, reparations doesn't mean suffering for those others. Reparations can deeply begin with acknowledging the atrocities that people experienced here on this great land of this great nation we call America. You see, the power of reparations is an acknowledgement that something horrible took place to a people and continually has its grip and hold on the people generations since. You see, when language in school books stopped saying slave, slave, slaves and used the word enslaved Africans, means that there is an acknowledgement that something took place, stolen people. You see, reparations is not just about money, it's acknowledgement of something that happened, that was done, and people continue to suffer from. You see, when there's accountability for something that happened that was done very, very cruelly, you know the images. I would dare want to traumatize myself nor you on those atrocities. Huh. All I'm saying is when reparations happen, the people will have to acknowledge a great wrong was done, and then a consciousness will shift in how you deal with a person because you no longer just see them as descendants of slaves. You see, reparations allow people to see the power and the gifts of their ingenuity and their contribution to this country. It's done with respect. You see, the power of reparations, yes, of course, money is important. The land and favor is important. But no greater value reparations has is the respect and honor that happens to come after acknowledgement of a great wrong. Now, don't get me wrong, we're not fooled. Many other people, non melanated as well as melanated, have suffered greatly. But some of those got a small form of breadcrumbs and small forms of acknowledgement of wrongdoing. Very small. And don't get me wrong, I am not a racist because I want reparations. I have loved many men of many different ethnicities, including non melanated men. So it's not about that. It's not about being angry. I just want a little fair share. But more importantly, I just want your respect. I want you to acknowledge my struggle is real and that I'm not just using the race card. I want to be respected and looked at more than just someone that had been enslaved in this country, but as someone who have made science great. You know, those hidden factors where great founding fathers of technology claim things that wasn't theirs, and they get to be put in school books and sung by children about their great minds and ingenuity. I just want to stop telling stories passed down from my elders that are the true forms of history, and my kids looking at me like, here we go again. Because in school, their storybooks say nothing of these things I speak. Reparations. Reparations. Reparations can also take other forms. As you see me today, the descendant of a European woman, my sister, my blood sister, painted symbols, ancient African symbols upon my face. The irony of her steady hand and her talent with makeup, putting back my honor onto my face. No charge, reparations. Took her at least 3 hours. Reparations. This water witch sat in her tub for hours, shifting her reality, shifting the matrix to bend into her will, stating there's many things I need to do and I don't know how to do them. Bring me someone that can. And someone sees me on a Facebook feed and ask what I want, what I've already put out in the universe to have. I will help you, he says, in free equipment. Reparations. Reparations. this beautiful dress done by a local designer. I've been paying on it forever. And finally, I asked for help so I may have this dress ready for this shoot. I was given pardon. Reparations. Reparations. Your respect, your love, your ear, your heart, your assistance. Beautiful forms of reparation. I'm just talking about I want just to get a little trinket of that money that my Social Security has have an impact. A strong man account. If I can just get one of those accounts back to me. Reparations. Reparations. I want this for each and every one of us. Our share due for what we contributed here into this Americas. I want every ethnicity to be given their fair day of true history from their voices about this great land, their stories. And I want you to know I uphold you all. And I am grateful for you all. We surely couldn't have lived as well as we do without one another. So don't cringe when we talk about reparations. We're not trying to take money straight out of your account. But then again, maybe if you offered a little bit of help from your own money, just in your own will, giving those reparations to the people around you, a little bit of love, a little bit of help. Will have a ripple effect in this matrix, unlike any other. These are the best of times. I want to thank you for listening to me. You know who I am. Your girl, Valerie, aka Priest Super Vixen. And I'm done here. Thank you, Caleb and friends. And oh, I love cucumber water too, man. Oh my God, Stefen, I love cucumber water. Anyway, thank you.
Absolutely. Hey, I love cucumber water too. There's just something about it. It's good stuff.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, hey, thank you, Priestess Super Vixen. Really appreciate that. Thank you. That's an important perspective, and I think definitely the country owes a lot of reparations to the Black community and to the Native American Indigenous community. I mean, you can go on. I think, yeah, there's a lot of reparations there, for sure. Yeah.
You got that right.
Yep. So thank you for that, Priestess Super Vixen, and I hope you can come back and join us next week. It's always good to see you.
Thank you, Caleb.
And hopefully you'll still have the makeup on next week.
I know, right?
Awesome. Well, y'all give it up one more time for Priestess Super Vixen. All right. Thank you again for joining us tonight for Poetry Open Mic Asheville, Asheville's longest running and voted best open mic. Thanks to your support, Appreciate y'all tuning in out there, wherever you are. You can catch us here in the Poetry Open Mic Asheville Facebook group, or live streaming on the Sovereign Kava YouTube page every Wednesday night, 8:30. And be sure and tune in and support all these fine artists and support Sovereign Kava. Many thanks to Sovereign Kava for their sponsorship and their opening their doors and being home for us here in Asheville for almost 10 years now. And we're keeping it going in the virtual realms. And it's so good to see all our open mic people still tuning in and still being part of it and still having a platform to share their art each and every Wednesday. So many thanks to the artists. Up next, we have another fine performer for you. Mark Hudson is in the house with us. It's always good to see Mark, and so let's see if we can get Mark on here. Wherever you are, make a whole bunch of noise for Mark Hudson.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Hey, what's up, Mark? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Y'all are making me thirsty with all this cucumber water talk.
Oh, I know. I hear that. You'll probably use
Oh, man.
water.
It's been so great. Priestess Super Vixen, so good. Completely agree. And then Stefen, Kevin, Justin. I caught the tail end of Kevin set. Oh, man.
Yeah.
I came in a little late, but it's nice to finally be here. So
Totally. Well, thanks for being here, Mark. Cool. Well, Mark's a man of many talents. What you got for us tonight, Mark?
appreciate that, man. I've got some originals, and then I'm gonna read some Reverdy and Wilbur, and not too much, but no Shakespeare or Seuss tonight. So we'll take a different tone.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm excited to hear it. Y'all make a whole bunch of noise for Mark Hudson.
Thank you, Caleb. Appreciate it. Hey, everybody. Hope everybody is staying strong out there and washing your hands. So like I said, I'm going to do some originals, and I'm going to read some other older poets' work that I really enjoy. So here we go. If all people are equal, does that include cops? If all people are equal, that includes BIPOC. Who has the guns, the keys to the cuffs? Who has the tear gas, masks, plush? Who is violent, silent, shock causes quiet? How do you feel? Minimizing shit takes away what's real, but the rational brain helps you deal with it. Humans are animals that don't do well in cages, solitary confinement, or shackles. Freedom, when granted, seems followed by cackles from crackers. Police do not have to be arrogantly violent to do their jobs. Black Lives Matter. Slips, glimpses of limping rip up the tight fit. Tighten lips, pursed up. Tripped again. Easy win. Check the large grin. Juice and gin all over the men. We can stop the evil shit. Anxiety caused by oppressors doesn't have to be the future. How do you treat strangers? Greet with peace. All right. Here is Richard Wilbur. This is Richard Wilbur's A World Without Objects is a Sensible Emptiness. The tall camels of the spirit steer for their deserts, passing the last groves loud. With the sawmill shrill of the locust to the whole honey of the arid sun, they are slow, proud. and move with a stilted stride to the land of sheer horizon, hunting Treherne's sensible emptiness, there where the brain's lantern slide revels in vast returns. O connoisseurs of thirst, beasts of my soul who long to learn to drink of pure mirage, those prosperous islands are accursed that shimmer on the brink of absence. Auras, lusters, and all shinings need to be shaped and born. Think of those painted saints capped by the early masters with bright, jauntily worn aureate plates, or even merry-go-round rings. Turn, oh turn, from the fine sleights of the sand, from the long empty oven where flames in flamings burn. Back to the trees arrayed in bursts of glare, to the halo-dialing run of the country creeks and the hills' bracken tiaras made gold in the sunken sun. Wisely watch for the sight of the supernova burgeoning over the barn, lamp shine blurred in the steam of beasts, the spirit's right oasis, light incarnate. And then here are a few from Pierre Reverdy. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his last name right. Reverdy? I think he's French. So this one is translated by Mary Ann Cause, and this first one is called The Poets. His head took shelter fearfully under the lampshade. He is green, his eyes red. There is a musician perfectly still. He is asleep. His severed hands play the violin to help him forget his misery. A staircase leading nowhere climbs round the house, nor are there any doors or windows. On the roof, shadows can be seen shifting about and tumbling into emptiness. One by one, they fall unharmed. Quickly, they move back up the stairs and start again, eternally charmed by the violinist still playing, his hands not listening. And then this one is called The Traveler and His Shadow, also translated by Miss Mary Ann Cause. It was so hot that he shed his clothes piece by piece along the road. He left them hanging on the shrubs. And when he was naked, he was already nearing the town. An immense shame came over him and kept him from entering. He was naked, and how could he help being stared at? Then he went round the town and entered by the opposite gate. He had taken the place of his shadow, which, going first, protected him. All right, and then I got one last quick one for you, an original. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Blueberry jams made at the factory. Giant blueberry people volunteer to be squeezed. They know they are sweet and delicious. Crunchy peanut butter smashed up, pressed down. The Mr. Peanut people let the oils flow. Skippy, Jif, Peter Pan, just want a delicious sandwich, maybe with some sweet bees honey. All right, y'all. Thank you very much. That's all I'm doing tonight. I hope you guys are staying safe and washing your hands. And thank you very much, Caleb Bicert, for hosting this incredible mic. I hope everybody stays strong, peace and love and reparations.
Yes, very good. Thank you, Mark. Hey,
have a good one.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for stopping by tonight, and please come back next week, man. It's good to see you.
You too, man. Have a good one.
All right. Cheers. All right, y'all. That was Mark Hudson. And yes, indeed. Thank you very much for joining us tonight for Poetry Open Mic Asheville, virtual quarantine love stream, trying to bring a little love and light into your homes in these perilous times. It's important that we stick together and keep sharing our art, keep sharing our voices, keep doing what we do, because it's important. I really appreciate all the performers and everyone who tunes in and supports this open mic every week. I do also want to give a special shout out to my brother Morgan for his technical help tonight. Let me see if he's on here. Morgan, what the hell are you doing anyway? Like, see sparks flying and shit. Like,
I'm doing some
technical shit's getting heavy tonight, huh?
doing some case modification on the old stream machine here.
Awesome. Anyway, yeah, Morgan has been really hooking up the live streams here and making it a lot better experience for everyone and helping out getting everyone logged in tonight. So I wanted to give Morgan a shout out for his help tonight. So
Thanks, man.
Thank you,
Always
Morgan. Absolutely, and we'll see you again next week.
Absolutely.
And yeah, be careful with that stuff there. Man.
Thanks, man. I got the face shield.
Oh, good. Excellent.
Thank you.
All right, that's Morgan, y'all. Cool. Y'all keep checking us out here each and every Wednesday night. I'm gonna close it out with a few poems. So y'all sit back and relax, enjoy. Some love for Morgan. And many thanks to all the performers tonight, and especially to Stefen Micko, our featured poet, joining us from Missouri tonight. And we look forward to getting Stefen back on here. It's always good to hear from him. So, indeed. Thanks to Sovereign Kava and all that good stuff. All right. Cool. Let's see what I got here. This first poem I'm gonna do, these are original poems, and this is called A Jazz Chord Came Out. When I stepped on the floorboard at my grandmother's house, a jazz chord came out. A quick run, a little scale of creaks underneath the carpet, as if there were a man inside the wall, feeding on the mold and letting his beard grow, entwined with a saxophone. In the evening when the lights are low, he searches the empty spaces for the house made of notes. Outside faintly, bullfrogs are the baritones of the night, accompanying cicadas that gently rock our bed, while great ships of the clouds carry the moon across to safety. Another journey past. Time for rest. Now we are home. Most home. Home as we'll ever be. Clock blinks a green 12 a.m. Cows jump over the moon. Going home, too. It's a newer one called Too Much Sun to See. The wind brings snakes. Today we shelter in place. But for those who don't have a place, we plant seeds in the spring earth. Somewhere you hear somebody is walking among the headstones on a hilltop. Hello, somebody. Is anybody still there? Oh, and this is a brand new poem. This is called To Water. I water the garden with an old tin watering can. When the can is empty, I stand still and listen to the earth drink in the water. The fragrance of good dirt lifts to the air as in gratitude, little wilted greens, already become full again, to stand tall, to reach for afternoon sun, as if hoping for such a simple answer. I straighten my spine and reach into unknown air. Like the blind trout in Linville Caverns. There are infinite parts of the caverns, but we don't know them any farther than our own little stream. We caress the waters, find our futures in the dark. Even the rock drips over time. Saturday night, Atlanta, Georgia, 2009. A kid in a trap music museum shirt sells us balloons in front of the gas station. Hey, 6 up, man, the cops are coming. Oh shit, ice cold balloons, 3 for $20. Where did the god breath originate? All is peaceful on the other side, with the beings that have always been there. A person screams mother over and over. Cop cars scream through everywhere, passing the gas station by the amphitheater. The corona of the frenzy breaks. Back the fuck up. Last call, last call, last call. Hat on it. If you pile together enough of my clothes, it will become a being. Perhaps my dead friend, or just a former self, hunched over on the edge of the dining room table. Lost scene. After the poet Federico Garcia Lorca. For years, I've searched for the tunnel back to the poet's time, where we drink vino tinto, listen to warm piano and the cantaores, to speak of revolution, the ever-revolution, to sit at tables and smoke. Nobody lives long here. Friends share their poems, quick laughter, camaraderie tight, but gone just like that. Each friend alone is death. Death runs this region. Upon long red roads, courses through trunks and branches that reach, racked with life, the mountainsides. Even in winter, the trees are alive. Even in Andalusia, the killing ground, there is green. Even after leaves have wept to the earth, even in stormy midnight where a man is without lanterns, the only sound the culver and fire. Oh, death, take me there. For one drop of that vintage, one word from the living poet. The wine is gone. Cigar musk faded. The lamp wicks blackened. The visionaries have gone insane or been murdered. Bodies drying in the long red roads, scorched in soil, etched in clay, lingering. I just got a couple more poems for you. Thanks for joining us tonight for Poetry Open Mic Asheville. My name's Caleb Bicert. It's always a pleasure to be your host. This one's called "The Moon is Weeping Apples into the Ocean." The surreal arrived in dreams of costumed ancestors dancing from wherever they came. though we still don't know the first mammal to dream. Dreams, like a transistor radio, pick up a weather report from the wrong day and year, a country no longer there, in a language unfamiliar, some preacher screaming unto himself. Nothing is isolated. Every dream departs. In waking life, a woman at a party who met me once a year before tells me I was in her dream last night. I was warning everyone about the small animals who were in danger. I pleaded for people to help them. Then I met Tom Rawworth and told him who I was. I know, he said. Astonished, I remarked. That's cool. And he replied, no shit. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm gonna leave y'all with a couple of cover poems here, as I like to do. It's nice to share my own work, but I like the opportunity to share the work that speaks to me as well and informs my work. So this is a poem by our current U.S. Poet Laureate, Joy Harjo. And Joy Harjo is also our first Native American Poet Laureate. And she's a fabulous poet and a great saxophone player. And I had the great pleasure of meeting her a couple years ago at Laura Hopekill's Word Fest here in Asheville. So this one's called New Orleans by Joy Harjo. This is the South. I look for evidence of other creeks, for remnants of voices, or for tobacco-brown bones to come wandering down Conti Street, Royal or Decatur. Near the French market, I see a blue horse caught frozen in stone in the middle of a square. Brought in by the Spanish on an endless ocean voyage, he became mad and crazy. They caught him in Blue Rock, said, "Don't talk." I know it wasn't just a horse that went crazy. Nearby is a shop with ivory and knives. There are red rocks. The man behind the counter has no idea that he is inside the magic stones. He should find out before they destroy him. These things have memory, you know. I have a memory. It swims deep in blood, a delta in the skin. It swims out of Oklahoma, deep the Mississippi River. It carries my feet to these places. The French Quarter, stale rooms, the sun behind thick and moist clouds. And I hear boats hauling themselves up and down the river. My spirit comes here to drink. My spirit comes here to drink. Blood is the undercurrent. There are voices buried in the Mississippi mud. There are ancestors and future children buried beneath the currents, stirred up by pleasure boats going up and down. There are stories here made of memory. I remember DeSoto. He is buried somewhere in this river. His bones sunk like the golden treasure he traveled half the earth to find. Came looking for gold cities, for shining streets of beaten gold to dance on with silk ladies. He should have stayed home. Creeks knew of him for miles before he came into town, dreamed of silver blades and crosses, and knew He was one of the ones who yearned for something his heart wasn't big enough to handle. And DeSoto thought it was gold. The Creeks lived in earth towns, not gold. Spun children, not gold. That's not what DeSoto thought he wanted to see. The Creeks knew it and drowned him in the Mississippi River so he wouldn't have to drown himself. Maybe his body is what I'm looking for as evidence. To know in another way that my memory is alive. But he must have got away somehow. Because I've seen New Orleans, the lace and silk buildings, trolley cars on beaten silver paths, graves that rise up out of soft earth in the rain, shops that sell black mammy dolls holding white babies. And I know I have seen DeSoto having a drink on Bourbon Street, mad and crazy, dancing with a woman as gold as the river bottom. That's our poet laureate, Joy Harjo. I'm going to just leave y'all with a couple more tonight. Thanks for sticking around. Really appreciate everyone for being here tonight. Everyone who performed. And you can catch us here every Wednesday night, of course. Let's see. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. This is and this is a poem by the great beat poet Bob Kaufman. Believe. Believe. Believe in this. Young apple seeds and blue skies, radiating young breasts, not in blue-suited insects infesting society's garments. Believe in the swinging sounds of jazz, tearing the night into intricate shreds, putting it back together again in cool, logical patterns, not in the sick controllers who created only the bomb. Let the voices of dead poets ring louder in your ears than the screechings mouthed in mildewed editorials. Listen to the music of the centuries, rising above the mushroom time. That's Bob Kaufman, and this is a poem by the great poet Dan Gerber. Often I imagine the earth through the eyes of the atoms we're made of. Atoms, peculiar atoms, everywhere. No me, no you, no opinions, no beginning, no middle, no end. Soaring together like those ancient Chinese birds, hatched miraculously with only one wing, helping each other fly home. Thank you all for tuning in to Open Mic tonight. I got one more poem to share with you. I usually like to, but it's a little bit roomy. But I do want to give special thanks again to our featured poet, Stefen Micko. Thank you so much for coming tonight, Stefen. And thank you so much to all our wonderful performers for performing tonight and for showing up and supporting this thing each and every Wednesday night. And many thanks to Sovereign Kava for their support. Y'all check them out. Get some Kava from the Kava bar. They're doing to-go orders, cashless to-go orders, mask required at the bar, and also delivery orders through Kickback ASHEViLLE. Check them out. All right, cool. So this last bit's from Rumi. Barks translation. Much love, y'all. The oldest thirst there is. Give us gladness that connects with the friend, a taste of the quick. You that make a cypress strong, and jasmine. Give us the inner listening that is a way in itself, and the oldest thirst there is. Don't measure it out with a cup. I am a fish. You are the moon. You cannot touch me, but your light can fill the ocean where I live. Peace and love, everyone. Stay strong, stay safe. Black Lives Matter. You all matter. Thank you so much for being part of this open mic. We'll bring you more open mic next Wednesday night. Thanks to our featured poet, Stefen Micko, for joining us tonight. Y'all keep up with Stefen and take care of yourselves and one another. And we'll be back here next Wednesday for more open mic fun. Cheers, y'all. And my name's Caleb Bicert. You can check me out online and stuff. It's a pleasure to be your host. Thanks a lot. So tonight's theme music was by Kava on Facebook and Instagram. You can check out each and every Wednesday.